Welcome to the Say It Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Vasavi Kumar. If you're eager to gain clarity, speak with unwavering confidence, and liberate those inner voices, you're in the perfect spot. My mission here is to empower you to break free, find fulfillment, and ignite your passion. You ready? It's time to say it out loud. I've put together a guide of my top 10 tested and proven to work practical strategies and habits to help bright women like you say no, set your boundaries right, live confidently, and build healthy relationships, starting with the relationship you have with yourself. This is a self-paced guide, and I can't wait for you to dig into it so you can start becoming your most confident self, because she's in there waiting for you. Head to the link in my show notes or go to vasavikumar.com/guide and grab it today. Welcome back to another episode of the Say It Out Loud podcast. It's me, Vasavi, coming to you from my black box confessional, aka my studio, my sound booth. Today I have a question from Stacy, who's going through a transition in her business. And there's a lot of fears of imposter syndrome coming up. And I want to go into this question on a deeper level in terms of what are the different fears that come up when we are transitioning, and what can we do to overcome those inner voices? How do we actually speak to those inner voices, and what do we need to be telling ourselves in order for us to make this transition be one that is really the real deal and not just something that we're talking about, right? A lot of times we talk about pivoting, we talk about transitioning, we talk about doing things differently, but then these fears pop up, and those are the fears that I want to talk about today. And so the next thing that I'm going to do now is air Stacy's question, and then I'll come back, and then you're going to hear my response. We're going to get deep into the 3 fears that often pop up when we are transitioning in any area of our life, but I want to talk specifically about what happens in business. This is something that I can all too well relate to, so I think I'm enthralled to answer this question, because if I can help one person be able to transition in their business to be doing more of what they want from a more aligned place, then my job is done, and that is a success for me. So without further ado, here is Stacy's question.
Hey Vasavi, this is Stacy. I was just wanting to ask you, I'm in this transition and a lot of new things are coming up in my business, and it's hard to not feel imposter syndrome or scarcity around transitioning and doing something new. So I was just wondering, if you had any advice for those who are like going through a transition and trying not to let their inner voice get in the way. So let me know if you have any suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question, Stacy. I originally wanted to say to you that this is normal that you feel this way, but I don't actually believe that. I don't think it's normal for us to feel imposter syndrome around transitioning. I think this is programming and this is conditioning, and we are not taught to embrace change. We are taught to fear it and have things just be the same. So just know that the way that you feel is common, but it's not necessarily the way that you need to feel. And just consider that the way that you feel right now is nothing more than conditioning and programming around change and around transition. We think it needs to be the scary thing, but what if transitioning and pivoting can be the most magical experience of a lifetime? What if we started looking at it that way? Now, I know that it's easier said than done, because I will tell you, I have transitioned so much in my business from only doing coaching and therapy full time to now adding acting and voiceover. I'm also an author. There are so many different things that I have added to my plate. There are so many things that I've removed. There are so many packages and offers that I have redone and repriced, and every single iteration of who we are, it's going to feel like we are shedding layers, because we are. And that is what we are meant to do. We are meant to shed those layers. It is society and it is conditioning and it is programming that has us believing that change is meant to be this scary thing, and we have to feel like an imposter because we're in the middle of a transition. But what if that's just part of the process? Part of that process of transitioning is that you're going to feel like something new is happening, because something new is happening. But as I said in my last episode, okay, the episode right before this where I talked about how to stay structured and disciplined and consistent, I said you have to decide. You have to first decide that this transitioning is happening and it's going to be a success no matter what. That's what I want to say to you, Stacy. You got to decide that you are transitioning, which it sounds like you've already decided, but I also need you to make a decision that this is going to be a success. The business is going to be a success no matter what. I want to start talking about the first fear around transitioning, okay? The first fear that we have around transitioning is that we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. We're going to have to start from scratch. And when this fear comes up, it can feel like it's just all too much, right? It's like too much time, too much energy, too much money that you've already invested. And you're like, oh, all this money is going down the drain. But here's the thing. You're not starting from scratch. You're actually evolving from the place that you're in right now. And as you evolve, so does your work. So does your business. It's natural. Evolution is natural. I am proud of you that you want to transition, because it tells me that you are growing and you are evolving and becoming closer to who you really are. So a really powerful reframe can be that your work or your business is actually your life's work. It is your calling. It's continually evolving as you are evolving as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, and as a human being. The second fear that I see around transitioning in business is that people think it's going to take a lot of time to rebuild and get back to where you were in business. And this is really common, especially when you're narrowing down or changing your niche. But the thing is, there's limitless possibilities that can be offered to all of us. And it's absolutely possible that your business can grow quickly because of this transition, because you've done the alignment work and you're operating from this place of alignment. Anytime I have tried to transition from a place of misalignment, it has never worked. I'm going to say that again. Every single time I have tried to transition from a place that is not aligned within me, it does not work. And so it is so important for you to recognize that you are transitioning and you are pivoting in your business because you are getting back into alignment. The reason why you're transitioning, Stacy, is because you want to be doing more of what you enjoy doing. That's alignment. Getting back to what really matters to you. So your thoughts, your words, and your actions are in alignment with what you say you want, with what you're thinking that you want, and then finally your actions. Don't be surprised by how quickly things start to fall into place when you are in alignment and you make a decision from an aligned place. That's why I don't care about time. I don't care how long stuff takes, how short it's going to take, is it going to happen tomorrow? Because I know that once I'm in alignment and I have decided, it's game on, right? Like I'm living from that place now. So now I'm living from this new reality, this new way of being. And so I'm not worried about how long it's going to take or how short it's going to take. My only concern is, did I make a decision? Yes, I made the decision. Am I aligned? And am I living as that person? Am I living as that identity who wants to do XYZ, who wants to transition into this? What does that CEO look like? What does that business owner sound like, look like, feel like, speak like, show up as? What are their habits? And when you start living from that place, time goes out the window. It's just a way of living. It's a way of being at that point. So don't worry about the time. Be more concerned about whether you are in alignment with what you say you want in this new transition in your business. And the third fear that is so common when it comes to pivoting and transitioning in business is, I'm not ready. I'm just not ready. I'm not skilled enough. I don't have the experience. I don't have the hours under my belt. The not enoughness is what so many of us struggle with. And here's the thing. There's no perfect time for anything, including a perfect time to transition. Those inner voices will always find a logical, rational, practical reason why we should wait until next quarter, until next year, or until we've completed the next certification, or you're more qualified, or wait until the website is complete or the branding is complete. And I'm not saying none of those things matter, but it's funny how our mind works when we want to move on. When we have officially outgrown something, our mind will be like, no, just stay. No, I'm just going to stay right here. No, you can wait. You don't need to do this right now. This is going to take too much time. You're going to have to start from scratch, right? All those fears. And so this is critical. You have to decide. No one else. You have to make the decision that the transitioning is happening and that it's going to be a success. And you're probably saying, but how do I know if it's all going to work out? This is where I need you to deepen your faith, deepen your trust, and I need you to look for evidence as to where you have taken a leap of faith before. I don't even know you, Stacy, but I know that if you've taken a leap of faith, and if you're listening to this and you own a business, that you at one point had no proof, no evidence that you had the ability to start a business, let alone create a successful business, but you're doing it, right? The fact that you're in transition right now tells me that there was a time where you were just starting your business. You didn't have any evidence at that time. But now you actually have evidence because when you started your business the first time, you had to have taken that leap of faith. You can also look to other people. If someone else has done something that you want to do, you can pull it off too. Because what we're doing here is leaning into the possibility and the magic of life. So the reframe here, instead of I'm not ready, I'm just not ready, I'm not skilled enough, I need you to look for evidence for those moments where you were not ready and you did it anyway, because I guarantee you have a few. We just have to remind ourselves, y'all, we have to remind ourselves of who we are and what we are capable of. I think that is what scares people the most, is really tapping into their power. I think a lot of people are afraid of tapping into their power because if they're truly in their power, they're going to scare some people off. Good. Scare off a few people, right? Keep people far away from you that don't belong in your inner circle, for real. But it's really us stepping into our power that we are so terrified of because we think that somehow when we step into our power that everyone's just going to leave us and we're going to be all alone. You know what? I don't think that's the worst thing in the world if the people around you are pulling you down. That's why it's so important that you have a community of people. You have your own support group that you turn to when you just need to say it out loud and express how you're feeling. Conversations just like this are what we have inside the Say It Out Loud group. And so, Stacy, I want to invite you. We begin our group again in April. We're in the middle of a cohort right now. Well, we begin again in April. I'll be sharing more about this in future episodes, but we do have a wait list right now. So if you want to head to the link in my show notes, just get on the wait list so that you can learn more about the next round of Say It Out Loud. I'll give you a few little sneak peeks. It's going to be a 9-month. I'm going to have an inaugural pricing. I'm going to have monthly plan options. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be like probably the cost of two therapy sessions, less than the cost of 2 therapy sessions to be a part of my Say It Out Loud group. And we're going to be together for 9 months. A lot can happen in 9 months. A lot of transitions can happen in 9 months, but we have to allow ourselves to grow and walk away from the versions of ourselves that no longer suit us. Like in my own business, right? I just transitioned working with somebody who I'd been with for 6 months. Phenomenal. Absolutely loved having her on my team. But we both had a heart-to-heart conversation and we realized that we were both transitioning and we were both looking for something different in each other. And so she's no longer on my team and I am now hiring, and I've hired 2 new people to support me. Was I scared? Absolutely. All the fears of, is this going to work? Are these 2 new team members going to understand me? Are they really going to help me out? Are they really going to give a shit about my business? Am I going to have to start from square one again, training this person? Like all these questions came to mind. And the way that I deal with that is I list them out. I list out all my fears. Stacy, I want to share a really great resource with you. And I want to give credit to Tasha Silver, who wrote the book, It's Not Your Money. I'll link her book in the show notes. It's Not Your Money. She talks about creating a God box. Now, you can call it a universe box, source box, whatever you want. I don't mind the term God box. The word God does not trigger me. I don't have that type of friction with the word God, let's just say. So she talks about creating a God box. I just took an old shoebox and I wrote the words God box on it. And then she says to start writing down all your fears, all your worries, all your longings, anything that you are worried about in terms of money. But I opened it up and I decided to write down all my fears, not just about money, but business, and just like offer that to God. All these fears that you have, don't fret. There is a force bigger than you that is orchestrating all of this. And all you need to do is decide and get clear on what you want, and don't budge from that. And be so true to you that you become unrecognizable to yourself. Or maybe this is the person that you've been all along. You're just getting closer back to the version of you that you know yourself to be. This transition is an offering to the new version of you. This is your way of saying, I am allowing myself to grow. I'm allowing myself to evolve. I'm allowing myself to transition into whatever is next. And if you are clear on that, which it sounds like you are, it's just these pesky little voices that are getting in the way, then relax. Relax and rest and know that it's already done. But you need to decide that no matter what, this transition, the business, you, everything, it's going to be a success no matter what, because you said so. That is how powerful our words are. So Stacy, I want you to know that I'm here for you. If you ever wanted to book a 30-minute call with me just to talk this out, please feel free to go ahead to the show notes and go ahead and book that call with me. I know sometimes we just need to talk it out with someone. We just need those words of encouragement, and I hope to be that for you, not only on this episode, but if you ever decided to, take me up on a free creative strategy session, I'm here for you. And I'm saying this to everyone listening too. Don't just sit on the sidelines waiting for your life to happen. This is it. This is not a rehearsal. This is not a rehearsal. This is your actual life. If you want something to change in your life, you can change it today. That is it. If you don't like the fact that you've been sitting on your ass and not working out, get up, put your shoes on, and go for a walk today. If you feel like your health's not really in good condition and you haven't gone to the doctor in years, make an appointment. Get your teeth checked. Get your eyes checked. Do the things that you know that you need to do to keep yourself running smoothly, because we need you, because there is so much God-given gifts, potential, and magic inside of you that is waiting to come out. So I need you to take care of you. No more making excuses. No more just not taking yourself seriously anymore, but also be lighthearted, right? It's a fine balance that we have to walk. I've been called very serious, but I'm also one of the most lighthearted people I know. But I take my goals seriously, but I have fun in the process. So you got to decide, and you got to be sturdy as a rock, and you got to say, this is what I'm doing, and that's it. This is what I want, and that's it. And guess what? Once you've learned the lessons that you got to learn, once you've gone through that phase, you're going to want to transition again. So get used to the transition, because it is an inevitable and natural part of life, Stacy. I want to say thank you so much for your question. I want to say thank you to all of you for listening week after week. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. If you haven't already, please leave a review, rate it, share this with a friend. And if you would like your question to be answered on my podcast, all you got to do is leave a voice note. You can head to the link in my show notes and you can leave a voice note as well. You can leave it anonymously. You can change your name. I don't really care, but I want your questions, because this is what I love doing. This is my life's work. This is my calling. I want to be able to help people overcome their fears and just do the thing that you want to do so you can be happy and you can feel fulfilled and you can be proud of yourself and you can live a life in complete alignment with who you really, really are. So until next time, I want to say be kind to yourself, and remember, say it out loud. If you love today's episode, then say it out loud. Subscribe, leave a review, and come say hi over on Instagram at My Name is Vasavi. Until next time, say it out loud.